I've done a buy. This is why I've gone for the Snapmaker A350, which is the largest version of the Snapmaker 2.0. Now, because I'm cheap, this isn't new. This is 3 months old, and I managed to get it for a really good deal. It's the printer in this box and the enclosure. From factory, this is £1,700 and £600, and I got both of them for £1,200. So let's open it up and see how it goes. Let's start with the actual printer. This is a very nice guide. Comparisons being made previously that this is a very Apple-like product design language, and I can certainly see why. It feels very much the same. Nice anodized aluminium. It has been used, which I knew, but looking at the way how this is packaged, you'd struggle to tell. I think this is the bit that I'm most excited about, the CNC head. 1600 milliwatt laser. Tools and accessories. Quality of all these tools is very, very nice. Over here, cleaning cloth. The anodized clamps. These definitely haven't been used. Like I say, this was at most 3 months old. Down to some brackets. Apparently this came with an extra sheet as well. Alright, so that's the frame built. Now it's a case of picking which module we're going to go for. I'm just going to start with 3D printing because that's what I know, and that's a part that's already been used. We'll see how that goes. But look at the size of this thing. It's only just fitting on the desk here as it is. So I don't know how well it's going to fit in an enclosure as well. I was quite surprised by the size of the power box. It's pretty chunky. Everything does have a really nice premium feel to it. It's a very slow, albeit fancy, boot up. That's quite a cool feature. I've heard that the fans on this are quite noisy, so this is about what I expected. But from the sound of things, it is just from the PSU, so I suppose I can swap those out if I really want to. Realistically though, I guess having noisy fans doesn't make a blind bit of difference when you're CNCing, because you're just going to have the grinding noise. So it's 320 by 340 looking at the grid, so I think the whole thing is 350. So it's larger than my Ender 3s, but obviously not as large as the CR10. But everything feels very solid, which is nice. Yeah, something did go wrong. It made contact. Right, let's investigate this. Well, I've realised what it is, and for anyone screaming at the screen earlier in the video, gap, gap. Put the rails on in the wrong place. That's why the head is not over the build plate. So when it was auto leveling, it was just pushing down in the corner. So a very rookie mistake on my part. So let's turn it off, move that over, try again. There we go. Alright, well I think the first thing to do is to see what this is. Oh, it's a calibration cube. There's me getting all excited. Oh well, let's give it a go anyway. Yeah, it is a bit noisy. "47 minutes, that is very slow. But if the print comes out good, then it's worth it. "46 minutes, 57 seconds. So it certainly is a slow machine. But that is really, really nice. Challenge now is, I'm going to run this again, but I'm going to change the speed so that it prints at the same speed as what I use the Ender 3s on. See how well that comes out. 28 minutes, 29 seconds. And even though the work speed was 270%, the time difference didn't equate to that. It's a fair amount more stringing on the faster one. See, the Y isn't quite as nice. But from a distance, you can hardly tell them apart. So this lower one is much better. Not perfect, but very, very good. Arguably better than the results I've had on the Ender 3s anyway. So I suppose the next thing to do is try out some of the other modes and get the enclosure built. I'll also be using the software that comes with it, which is Luban, Snapmaker Luban, that has all 3 modes in, and then I'll be using Cura as well, with their default profiles and default settings for this machine, and generating the same model and as close as I can the same G-code, and seeing whether the slicer makes any difference. So stay tuned for part 2, and thanks for watching. See you in a bit.